Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today is May 11, 2021, and the news are brought to you by a group of photographic retailers and manufacturers who have joined together to support analog photographic media and help keep analog photography thriving worldwide. And they're getting closer to the name, by the way. But just in case you forgot who they are Cameradactyl, Cosmo Foto, Chroma cameras, Riveni Labs, RealitySoSubtle, Intrepid cameras, Pixl-ltr, Brooklyn film camera, ONDU cameras, standard cameras, 20th century cameras, Pictoriographica, Analogue, Wonderland, and Cinestill. So, first off, quick update. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. It was pretty awesome to turn 39, I think. And also, we hit 20K like a couple of days ago, so thank you for everybody that clicks subscribe and watches this geeky, nerdy film channel. And also, we hit 3.5 million views overall, which is mind-boggling, but very, very cool. And yeah, basically, let's get to the real news. No more Nico self-promotion. So, it looks like Portra and Color Plus have changed their base. So, as you know, film is basically an emulsion on top of, I think what they call it a base. I might be wrong. And they've changed it. I had not heard about it. It seems it's been happened already for a couple months, and some labs have figured it out because the base is supposedly thinner, harder to cut because it's more resistant. I even heard that in cinematography they don't like this base, which is S-star base, because it's so strong that if a camera jams, it'll break the mechanism instead of breaking the film. Not that it's going to happen on our cameras so easily, but just in case you want to know. And this is what supposedly Kodak has answered a couple of people reaching out about this film base. So the new support is 3.94mm Kodak S-star base, which features enhanced quality, transparency, and dimensional stability. We made this change because our acetate supplier was not able to keep up with demand. As demand for film has increased over the past couple of years, we have converted some of our films to this base. We have now shipped over 4 million rolls with no negative feedback, just so you know. Portra 400 was converted around August last year and Color Plus shortly after that. This was only done after extensive internal and external testing. So if you have figured that Portra 800 and Color Plus looks different, it could be that. Then we have a video from one of our sponsors, Standard Cameras. Drew has made a video on YouTube all about common mistakes in large format. So if you haven't subscribed, you can go check it out. He's got all kinds of videos about Standard Cameras, which is a 3D printed camera that's a monorail, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I don't know, maybe I should feature one of the sponsors each week and talk to you about what they do because they're pretty interesting and awesome. They haven't told me to say that, so just in case somebody says I'm a sellout. Then we have a Bees processor blog post. As I said in the news a week or 2 weeks before, the Bees processor had basically done a major renovation of the initial beta test, which actually a friend, Daniel, Certain Exposures YouTube channel, great guy, made a video on. And he's changed a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to update you with the bullet points he said. There's a whole blog post I recommend you read if you're interested into like little processors. It has a genuine Arduino Nano, if that is something you're interested in. Highly efficient motor drive for torque. A full 8 Rio Patterson turns like a charm. Runs now on 12 volts, I want to say, V. I'm really bad at electricity. For better and more stable power. Touchless rotation switch, equal rotation even if the tank slips on the wet wheels. Light indicator to show you if the magnet band is properly triggered the switch. Interchangeable smooth and wobble wheels. 3 programs for perfect repeatability. So basically I think it does like different speeds. Patterson column linkage, also known as the penguin. You can read the blog. It has a bunch of stuff about the penguin. Tank position automatic detection, future proof. It has like a USB plug and splash proof, which is pretty cool. The splash proof part is pretty cool too. So yeah, if you want to read more about that blog post under. It's still not available. He's made a couple of units and he's still working basically on that. So more news as soon as I have them. So about the Silberra color film dilemma, there's been an update. The person that wrote me the first time wrote me a second time. I think his name was Gregory. I'm really bad at names. I should have made that note. But thank you for that email. And basically it looks like this film does not have any markings or etchings or anything, so it's basically clear. Also, Cosmo Foto wrote me about the same thing, basically also no markings at all. In one of them there was the orange mask and the other one didn't have it, so maybe there's been two different iterations of the color film from Silberra. And one thing to note, not like lomography where you read made in the USA or made in Germany, these say made in Russia. And from what I've heard, the base is really thin. Thin as like sellotape, and that makes me think it's from Russia because there's other films that I know that are made in Russia that have this very thin base. Then we have Titi Artisans with a 90mm f1.25 coming soon. So to keep up with the tradition of huge lenses that barely will have anything in focus, you can go ahead and soon be able to buy a 90mm f1.25, which is gonna for sure be very hard to focus on a rangefinder camera and get, you know, something sharp. But if you're into that kind of thing, which I know a lot of people are, maybe shooting at night or with, you know, bokeh balls or whatever that is, this might be a great lens for you because the Leica equivalent is probably worth 5-10 times more. But still interesting to see more Leica mount lenses made in China. Then we have a Riveni Labs Spotmeter update. Matt has made a very thorough update. I would say the best update so far about where the Riveni Labs is that he has secured 3,000 PCBs because there's the microchip issue in the world on shortage, and the fact that he's like getting the lenses because he has to have a lens, then he has to drill the 3D parts because it has to be drilled exactly, I think is a 0.5mm drill bit, and so on. So if you're Riveni Labs Spotmeter backer, you can read it right now, and if you're not, like me, you can actually go ahead and read it too, which is really cool, and see if the project still interests you, and whenever it comes to the market, you'll be able to get one. He's also making 15 more beta units to send to people that tested it before, like Matt Mirage or Nick Carver. Nick Carver is even going to make a whole like new lesson for his metering course that he made a while ago. So that's pretty cool, all about this Riveni Labs meter. So yeah, you can go ahead and check that out from Reveni. Then this is a bit older news, but I don't know why I had not noticed. I guess I hadn't read properly. It looks like Paramount Cords will be permanently closing. And by saying this late, it might be closed already. If you don't know what Paramount Cords did, it made all kinds of like funky sync cords from like old graphics cameras, the old shutters that had like those two little like metallic pieces coming out that you had like a plug. And they made these things, and you know, they are basically going out of business. From what I saw in the post on, I'll leave the link below, to graphics.org. It says, order all the hard to find sync cords you'll need in your lifetime online as soon as possible. So that might be too late. I actually needed one and I now don't have it. Midtones Machine update. Basically, Midtones been working, you know, without making many posts. I haven't talked about it in a while. It looks like he's basically made like the whole like sticker so you can see where to plug your chemistry and what the thing, like the whole logo. Also, he's building, I think 2 or 3 machines that he's going to send to beta testers. 2 machines actually. One in Wellington, New Zealand, one for QWD Labs, which is the people doing the ECN2 kit. And yeah, basically all these people will test them, see if there's any bugs or problems, and let them know. And Midtones Machine can keep on, you know, advancing, which is good news. Then this is something I saw online, and I don't have a lot of details. It's a 3D printed shutter, and it looks pretty massive, but it's pretty cool because it seems to have like some bulb settings, so you can like basically air press it or cable press it. And I don't know if it has time, like, you know, 1/25th of a second or 1/100th of a second, but it does also have like some sort of iris or aperture control. So you can like use process lenses, pictorial lenses that usually don't have an f-stop, maybe have a water stop, but maybe got lost. And this, you could like mount the lens and use it with, you know, the cable. It's a pretty cool project. I'm going to leave a link to the Instagram account I saw it on. I think it's Brazilian or Portuguese. I might be wrong. And yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you're into something like that and you need a shutter for this, like Eric Mayfi from the Large Format Podcast, I know he shoots all kinds of wonky lenses that don't have a shutter. Maybe there's something for him to look into, Eric. But yeah, 3D printed shutter. Then, not the biggest news, but this is interesting news because I've been part of the project. Camera Rescue has hit their 100,000 saved cameras. I'm leaving the link below. They were all working. Basically, they hit 100,000 and kept on working, which is what the Finnish company can do best. And yeah, Camera Rescue, if you don't know, have been trying to like find cameras around the world that are basically forgotten in basements and things like that, and trying to put them back into circulation. The latest news, which I think is the most important, is they started a mechanic trainee program with 8 people that are learning how to fix cameras, and then they will end up hiring a couple of them at least, which is really good. We need more people fixing cameras and, you know, making things like these. And also coming from Finland, we have the leak, or looks like a leak, of Summer Santa film. As you know, Santa Rai 1000 is a 1000 speed film, black and white, that's been in 35 and 120. It's been reaching all kinds of places in the world. And now there's a Summer Santa, which is an ISO 125. Still not a delivery date, but it might be coming very soon considering summer is around the corner. So yeah, that's the news for this week. As always, thanks for the sponsors for sponsoring these news. Thanks for everyone that watches and, you know, supports us on Patreon, leaves a comment, and those subscribers. 20K is a pretty big deal for me. Never thought, you know, this suit would attract 20,000 people. Thanks for watching. As always, send an email to the email below. See you in the next one. Bye.